Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
The timing last week was perfect, so
it really was bad.
No, I'm not talking about your bounce. I'm just talking about like the timing.
Oh yeah,
and all that.
We got professionals behind the scenes.
We're talking about the editing that works here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Welterweight podcast. Shawn and Carson, we're all on Zoom, making it happen. Hopefully, it's the last week we on Zoom for a little while.
Shawn, where you at? Shawn, B-side, where you at?
Disneyland. Taking my son 14 hours yesterday, so I'm chilling right now.
Hey, you at Disneyland right now?
Yeah.
He's in one of the teacups.
I was literally about to go to all y'all houses after this because, you know, we got the official merch.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. My boy couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to throw that on.
Oh, man.
Zittel said, Gorsh.
hey, Zittel, I was gonna leave yours outside your house. Somebody been walking around your hood with a Shawn Porterway podcast.
Gonna say B-side on it.
Yeah, talking about that ain't yours.
You've been in the neighborhood. It is a little hood. It is a little hood.
I figure I could get away with dropping off at everybody else's house.
Big exclusive drop.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the last P on there too. The way you're sitting, you only see TPW.
Hold on.
You gotta get up and model it.
Yeah, go on to model it.
Ow.
This is the biggest model in the world right here.
Ow. I see butt crack.
Why don't you just take the coat off and show?
I like it.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he's showing the athleticism.
What happened? How'd that go?
Good. Perfect.
Oh yeah, Shawn, I could have did that.
Nobody knows what's on the back.
Look professional. You can see it enough. It's the Porterway podcast logo.
All
You saw it.
All right.
You good. Yeah,
It's pretty hard. I'll admit.
So listen, this how we're gonna start the show. This is like fan appreciation day or week for us. You know what I mean? This is we didn't have any boxing yesterday, and not too much going on in the world of sports. Of course, are the Browns playing at this moment?
I don't even care. I don't care.
For the first time, we recording over a Browns game. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, Carson, I'm gonna ask you. Maybe you can come up. Hey, if you could think of a trivia for the fans, I'll supply them with a Letterman's jacket. With a Porterway podcast. Carson, you come up with the question because I need you to really hit him with something. Like when Shawn was born, you go and Google it. And the first person, maybe next week or something.
That actually might be a good one.
I don't know, something maybe from the shows.
Oh yeah, we'll get him with something.
Yeah, and I'll
heard it. Yeah, we had some good fan questions. I know we're going to talk about some of the fan responses the last week, but y'all didn't want to talk about the Browns. Pretend like they don't exist. Cavs are good though. Cavs play the Warriors today.
Mm-hmm.
Niners in LA today.
Yeah, we're not
trying to get to that playoffs. Yep.
Hey, Carson, Browns fans. Carson, y'all gonna stick with y'all quarterback, or you want the quarterback?
I think we want another one, but I think we'll probably stick with them for another year. Just an option year. I don't know. I don't see like a massive upgrade we're gonna be able to easily make. I would like to, but
hey, y'all would lose y'all mind if y'all got Rodgers, huh?
Oh yeah,
I have
for
to
sure.
split this podcast.
Yeah, it'll be a done deal. Also,
Rodgers?
Yeah, he's a free agent next year.
I didn't. Yeah, right. We're not getting.
I'm dead serious.
No, I'm just saying we're not getting him. You can't. Don't do that to me.
I can't even picture him in that jersey, and that would look ugly.
I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Rodgers, that's a perfect situation. They got everything over there. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all go undefeated. Hey, he's trying to lose his mind.
All of a sudden. We'll be back to last year where I'm talking about the Browns every single week.
Yeah.
I thought they was gonna do better this year. I ain't gonna lie.
One fan question that oddly kept coming up, we don't have to dive too deep into the fan questions off jump, but there are a lot of people are curious about what I'm drinking every episode.
What?
Like it pops up on social media, and then a lot of the fan questions was like, "Yo, what is Carson drinking?" Really depends on the episode. You catch me 1 week drinking strawberry milk. Sometimes some soft drinks, but somebody also wanted to know if I wear soccer jerseys at the weddings, but I wish. So
I'm gonna shame you because you drink Yoo-Hoo. And
that was wild.
You should be ashamed. You should be. You should feel ashamed of that.
Somebody's keeping them in business. I'm keeping them in business.
Is that what that is?
Carson, like the one person that still goes to Arby's. Who the hell eats Arby's still?
No comment, but yes.
Oh, look at
Sean does. Nice. I didn't say it.
Let me tell you what happened. We was on our way to Arizona this weekend, and we had to stop to get something to eat. So Arby's is what it was. But no, I don't go out of my way. However, I asked my wife, I said, yo, have you ever had Arby's? And she said no. So there you go. I was like, yeah, I've had it in X amount of years. But that ended up being the move this weekend.
So a quick food thing I have to comment. So I have my hat on, Akron Rubber Ducks 2021 Eastern League champions. But so it's a Sunday.
Okay, how about that's ice cream, Carson?
And
I thought it was a salad with a tomato in the middle.
Yeah, cabbage.
quite the opposite. So this is actually something they have at the stadium back home. And there was, when they first came out with it, shout out to my cousin Drew, we went to a game. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing it. Walk in the stadium. I'm going straight to that food stand, getting it. And so I started eating it. It is a monster. It's got it's got brownies at the bottom. It's got ice cream. It's got whole bananas. And then it's got the whipped cream and the cherry. But the thing is, it's literally a baseball helmet, like a batting helmet.
It's like a real, like a big baseball,
not like the full, the
of course, like
a replica one. Yeah. So it is serious, but the messed up part about it. So we got through it, but the game was delayed because of rain. So I literally get it, sit down at our seats right behind the dugout, Canal Park, and then all of a sudden it's like today's game is postponed due to rain. So I had to take this big ass helmet full of ice cream, melted ice cream into the car, but not enough about me. So do we want to go?
Not enough about me.
Interesting. Do we want to go interesting?
No, wait.
Question?
One more thing about you. You went viral this week with the Wire tweet.
It doesn't even make any sense. So
today's episode is all about Carson A.
Yeah, apparently. So I'm gonna paint the picture. So my wife and I are watching The Wire. This is like the 50th time I've rewatched it, and one of the seasons has just an unbelievable opening scene. Literally, season starts, scene's unbelievable. So I'm on Twitter on maybe Friday, and I'm thinking, man, this scene is the best. Like, starts the season so perfectly. So I find somebody else that tweeted the video. So I share the video and say, like, yo, this season opener is unmatched. And it starts like people are liking it. A lot of Wire fans, greatest show of all time, so understandably so. And then it starts to really snowball, and it really starts people to retweet it.
You got 1.4 million?
Dude, I have 5 million interactions on this tweet. And
thought his Canelo tweet was it.
Yeah,
but the thing is, it's it's such a basic tweet, and it's not even my video. I didn't record the video. I shared somebody else's video.
What's the tweet?
It's just that
show
them. The opening of season 4 is unmatched.
Okay, got you.
And so then our guy, there you go, real name, no gimmicks.
Oh.
And like my buddy TJ texted today, like, yo, did Questlove retweet you? Like Questlove, Patton Oswalt, like it just took like a very strange turn and was very popular. But
that's what's up.
Yeah. Shout out to The Wire.
How you feel today? You going on Today's show?
Yeah, tomorrow I'll be on the Porter Way podcast. My appearance, but
that's how.
Carson,
no, go ahead, Sean.
Oh no, just the rope in the boxing. I guess Snoop. It's like a semi-fictional character that the woman Snoop is playing in the scene that Carson showed from The Wire, and it was just crazy to hear that same authentic Baltimore accent we always got to hear from Calvin Ford and Tank. Just the way she talked, it was like, oh, I've heard that accent before, and that's that real Baltimore
and
accent.
Apparently she was, and the thing about Snoop, we won't dive too deep into The Wire. Sean still has to watch it, but
I'm familiar with Snoop.
She literally, like, she was about that action. Like,
I heard she was a dog.
Like, has like serious like criminal history regarding stuff like kind of similar to her character. So
that was a great show. Hey, shout out to my brother for recommending that.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was me. And by my aunt's brother, he means Carson. But
that's what I was about to say. Like that's how I initially met Lupe for the first time. We were going to the concert out here in Vegas, and remember I just like, yo, do a tweet, hey, when you see us, say what's up. And he brought me on the stage and he said, I want to show y'all the power of social media. You know what I mean? So there it is, just working again.
Yeah.
You got to see Sean in a movie with Snoop.
Yeah.
Hey, now we need B-side Sean to go viral. We made it, baby.
Boom, boom.
We made it. Everybody went viral. Shawn Porter went viral a couple times.
Well, hey, let me kick it off with a gentleman that I ran into yesterday. Little Pooh Bear, he got sick, so I ran to Walgreens to get some medicine. I'm walking up to the counter, and as I'm approaching the counter, the guy says, he says, sir, and I had the mask on and a hat. He says, sir, you know what? You look a heck of a lot like a guy named Shawn Porter. And I said, oh no, I am. And he's like, no way. You know what I mean? So, we had that moment right there. But I'm on my way out the store, and this is why I bring it up. I want to shout out, say what's up to Mark. He says, I love the YouTube channel, by the way. And it's like, I'm taking steps. I'm like, you watch the show? You know what I mean? I still, in my mind, nobody watches this, nobody listens to this or whatever. And he's like, man, I love it. He's like, man, I love it. And I was like, that's what's up. And then he took a picture with me, but then I was like, you know what? Let me take a picture with this guy, and let me make sure I say what's up to him on the show today. I knew we would be doing something like this, so I took a picture. We'll definitely shout him out and say what's up to Mark out there in Scottsdale, Arizona. Appreciate it running into you the other day.
No doubt.
Hey, Shawn, why don't you tell the people what you told me when we had it was breakfast with Tiki the morning of the Tank fight, and well, I'll tell them. We're walking out, and Shawn's like,
oh.
No, tell him, Shawn. Okay, I didn't know if you remember.
No, go ahead.
Shawn's like, I have this thing now where I'm not sure if every black person knows who I am now, because we're walking out the door and they're asking Shawn, hey, how's the food in there? And he didn't know if they're coming up to him to ask him of something because he's Shawn Porter. And it was funny.
Or notable podcast host.
I'll explain that real quick, and then we will move forward. So here's the thing with boxing, it's like y'all already know it's a small community. So usually, if you know the boxers and if you know them intimately, you know that because you watch them religiously. You know what I mean by intimately,
I got you,
like just deeper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but for the most part, not too many people know us, so on and so forth. So. I think it happened after Errol Spence Jr. After I fought Errol Spence Jr., then of course I'm doing the Inside PBC boxing show. I'm walking through Smith's, and this older white gentleman, I just know he's not supposed to know me, but he knows who I am. I scratched my head. I'm like, oh snap! I think I done made it. You know what I mean? So as I fast forward since 2019, it just seems like my popularity has grown so much so that I told you and Drew the last time we went out, I said, yo, listen, things ain't like they used to be, you know what I mean? People know me out here now, you know what I mean? So then it's become a thing with a lot more people know me now than I've ever expected to know me. And then I'm really weighing this in, and I'm like, okay, all these people know me, but let me see like how many of my people know who I am. How many, or not how many, but let's see if the average or the majority of the black people that are out here in this city or wherever I go, if they actually know who I am. And it's like I'm being recognized by, you name the ethnicity, name the race, and they know who I am, and even the age range is kind of blowing my mind too. You know what I mean? So like you said, like everybody's got to do something. It's on you now, Shawn. You FightHype ain't gonna do it for you, so you got to do it yourself.
Hey, go fight Mickey at Disneyland. Something you need to go viral.
Yeah, but I really appreciate who I've become and who I get to be, and I'm glad that y'all on the ride with me.
Yeah, so to humble you a little bit, this first fan question.
Right.
This was really interesting. I think now that you're retired, you'll be comfortable answering. So Zachy T1B said, in your boxing toolbox, what do you think was your biggest disadvantage or weakness?
Ooh.
Thought that was a really interesting question. The glaring one would obviously be power, would be the first thought. But
yeah, it's hard for me not to be honest. And there's this answer would open up a can of worms. It is the power. It's the power. And in another time, I'll explain why.
Hey, Shawn, you ever hit somebody and you thought they hit them hard? You're like, damn.
Adrian Granados. This dude, I'm like, you know, and Sebastian Formella. I'm like, you know, both them dudes.
Yeah, you sitting on the punches and everything on shot.
Yeah, like it's some people you like boom, 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 but then there's other people like, I'm about to sit down and like, all right, keep it moving.
You hit Formella with some shit too.
Yeah.
Like there were some shots
too.
Yeah, Granados, there were some in the Formella fight. There were a couple of times where you'd reel off a combination. And I'm like, he's got to be going down.
I said, yeah. I said exact same thing.
And
I was
all
like,
that
all right,
was his hair, like kind of flip back and then flip back.
Hey, Sean, you my guy. I'm like, hey, all right, he could take an ass whooping. That dude could take an ass whooping.
Right,
I'm like,
right. And they never made it about my power until this podcast. Before that was like, hey, he could take an ass whooping.
And I mean,
so that against Conor Ben.
I was gonna say, then he goes and fights Conor Ben. Same thing. He's just built like that.
Let me also tell for anybody who may feel like they should fast forward, we are waiting on Keith Thurman to call in to the podcast. I never use, just in case anything happens, somebody don't show up, but I'm good. I know my dude's gonna come through. So we waiting on Keith Thurman.
This was the other really interesting one from Twitter. Brian Medeiros. He wants to know, if your dad hadn't been your trainer, which current trainer would you go with? And let me preface this. I understand you were always, I'm doing it with my dad. That's it. Mm-hmm. Hypothetically, that was not the case. If you had to pick a trainer, who would you go with?
Early on in my career, I probably have no clue who I would have gone with. There's actually a really great trainer. And when I was on the Olympic team and we were, looking to go pro, my dad said, hey, if there's anybody else that you would want me to bring in, who would it be? Coached by Bashir Abdullah was the 2004 Olympic coach. And then he was again the 2008 Olympic boxing coach. And my dad's let me work with everybody. I've played other sports. So I've been coached plenty of times by other coaches and things like that.
I thought Mickey jumped him.
I thought Goofy got him start putting their hands on him.
Continue.
Coach Abdullah, he was like one of the only coaches out there that I felt like, man, this dude's got everything that I would want or need. And I actually told my dad that. He asked who I would want, and I said Coach Abdullah. And obviously that never happened, and we moved forward. And eventually, Barry Hunter was directly in our corner and coming into camp working with us before fights. Prior to that, people don't know this, but Barry was in my corner my debut. He was in my corner in a number of my fights before I even became a NABF champion. So I think Barry Hunter now, in retrospect, I'm like, it's Barry or nobody else. You know what I mean? Beyond my dad.
How good of a trainer is Barry? Just for those that don't really give him the credit he deserves, in my opinion. I have seen a lot of different coaches, and I can kind of categorize coaches. What coaches are offensive coaches? What coaches are defensive coaches? And specialize with working with southpaws and so on and so forth. Barry Hunter is an X and O's coach. He will break down a fighter. He will tell you all of his strengths and weaknesses, what you need to look out for. When you throw this punch, this is what you can expect coming back. You got to need to do this, step left, step right, so on and so forth. And I really appreciate that about Barry, because my dad's a workman. He will work you to get you to do everything you need to do right. You know what I mean? And my dad will work you more than he will work on, the X's and O's, or this is going to happen, that's going to happen, so on and so forth. And that's kind of where they separate, and where Barry became a really vital part of our team later on, especially when we fought Danny Garcia and then, going on to fight Errol Spence Jr. So that is what Barry is. I would say out of all of the coaches that I know, Barry's top 5.
He literally comes to the gym sometimes with a notepad with notes for you. Did for the Danny Garcia fight?
Yeah, the first time I had ever seen that. You see that in football, you see that in basketball. I'd never seen that in boxing, where a coach has a pad in his back pocket to make sure that he's got a list and he goes over everything that we need to do, so on and so forth. And I remember, there were times where I said, hey, how about this? How about that? And he would go and write it down, and make it a part of the game plan. So he's a planner.
In boxing, Shawn, is it good? It's like, I guess it'll be pros and cons of having your dad as your trainer. But, we both had two tough dads. And over time, it's like, man, I'm tired of hearing this. So I used to have an uncle that played NFL. And when it comes to sports, Coach Barry is like your fresh ear, a new side of it, a new way to talk to you than just always on you. Because your dad, one thing about Kenny Porter, he got every single ounce of Shawn Porter out of Shawn Porter.
Yeah.
That was the thing. But you needed that little, not that tough side come from Coach Barry. Coach Barry. Gonna be with you.
And the other side of that too is, as a coach, you have to be able to read your athlete, and you have to be able to coach your athlete the way he needs to be coached. Not everybody is going to be coached, or not everybody can respond to the coach that's going to, force or push the instruction. Some, other athletes will respond to the coach that's going to converse and share ideas and offer those things. My dad really didn't offer it. My dad was like, it's like this and that's it, know. And I was so used to that when Barry came around, it was kind of like it was fresh to me, because I had learned over the course of time that, that's not what I need, but because my dad was my dad, it was like, it's what got me there. I'm not going to argue with that.
I'm accepting it.
Yeah, I got a little older and I realized that this is what I respond to. And it doesn't mean that my dad did anything wrong. It just means that this is who I am. And I actually respond to that better than I respond to this, but this is what's got me here. So I'm going to always keep this with me,
I think a big thing with Barry and just kind of his obvious boxing intelligence is just watching a fight. Like, we're watching the fights, a few weeks ago, and even just casually watching a fight, like the gems he just kind of just throws out there, like he just knows, like, oh, and I'm just like, damn, I didn't think of that. Yeah. But, oh man, that's a really good point. Now I'm looking for that. That's just how he's wired.
I kind of felt like when we were watching the fight with him, I felt like the way I feel, like sitting next to Max Kellerman, and I'll say something, he's like, he'll agree or whatever. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Got him.
Did you feel like that when you were, offering,
if I threw out a scorecard and it was like, yeah, same here, I was like, headbangers. I was out to shot to Lamont. But
Barry's an underrated coach, but the thing is, not every coach is fit to take on every piece of talent that comes to them. And Barry's had a lot of talent. That went off. And a lot of I grew up seeing it, a lot of talent that goes off and thinks that they can do things a certain way, the way that they want, so on and so forth. Sometimes those guys don't make it. A lot of times, unfortunately, those guys that don't make it, So
shout out to
Barry's
Blue
one of
too.
those. Yeah, Barry's one of those guys, and he's got a team with him, and I love him, man. He brings the team everywhere he goes, and they all work accordingly. You know what I mean? So they fit right into the program we got, and of course, with us all being young, knowing each other, it was easy.
Barry's like one of those senseis.
He really is.
I would say that.
And he's very.
And I'm going to go on record for saying we are not hyping up Barry. Barry really is like one of those senseis.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Well, I just think he's one of those guys where he's been around so long, and he might not have the fighters that get to like the absolute top of the mountain, pay-per-view megastars. And I think that maybe he just doesn't get the credit. Like, it's easy to say, oh, Eddie Reynoso's trainer of the year because he has these guys that are up there, obviously Canelo. So I just think we're justifiably hyping Barry up. But
yeah, for sure.
Somebody also, another question, Brandon Beast 26 wanted to know, this ties in, would you ever want to become a trainer, Shawn?
I do not want to become a trainer. I know that I have what it takes to be a trainer, a teacher, even. That was one of the jobs that I thought I might have one day. If I had gone a route of playing football and got too big to box and all that kind of stuff, I'd have gotten a degree and went back to high school and been a football coach and a high school teacher, and maybe gone into like training for boxing. But honestly, it's something about holding the mitts. I hate holding mitts. I've thought about that. Like, okay, if I do go into training, I would be a lot like Barry in the sense that you bring me in, I'll tell you my fair assessment, what I think you should do, so on and so forth. But I'm not holding no mitts. I'll definitely show up at every workout and take you through what I know as a trainer or as a former fighter and all that. But I'm not holding no mitts. So And not to say that hold mitts like qualifies you to be a trainer, but that's the number one thing I won't do ever is hold mitts.
Zittel hold mitts?
I hate it, man. I don't know. It's something about it. I hate it.
Zittel, will you hold mitts for Shawn Porter as a trainer?
I'll try. I've held some mitts before, but I need to get a little more sophisticated, a little more nuanced than 1, 2, 3. But yeah.
And I think
1, 2, 3.
Sean's not like knocking down the boxing trainers or something. But what Sean's about to do after boxing is about to be bigger. He about to do something after boxing that's about to help boxing in a whole other way.
Yeah.
Me and Sean had a meeting. There's some stuff. Porterweight Park is the idea that me and Sean got for Shawn Porter is something that's gonna change the boxing game.
Yeah. Thanks for pushing the button.
Yeah, you got it. The S.Conrad_17. Would you like to see Tony Harrison versus Danny Garcia at 154?
Oh, they're gonna be talking shit.
And they added in the winner gets Charlo. But I think focus on the first part first.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for Tony, but I my assessment of Tony, I feel like he has declined since his second fight with the Charlo brother. I believe his last fight either was a draw or
it was a draw.
Yeah, I think he got a draw in his last fight, and he got a draw against a fighter that he's not supposed to draw against, I think that I do believe that Danny Garcia is moving up to 154. I do believe Danny will be back in the ring again this year. And shout out to Danny Garcia. He sent me something. I can't wait to show it off. We'll say that for another day as well. But I think that he would win in the fight between him and Tony Harrison.
You think Danny would beat Tony, Sean?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know because I don't. The question was for you, champ. But
the question was for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But the thing is,
tell Sean why he's stupid.
Danny's a counterpuncher, and I know Tony, the big Achilles heel when he's right, when he's sharp, and he didn't look right and sharp his last fight. But I wonder if you put him in a marquee fight again, if he can get back to that form he was in the rematch with Charlo, and then stylistically with Danny. Danny's a counterpuncher. He's not the type who's going to cut the ring off and go get you. So I don't know. I think Tony, if he comes in prepared for that fight and right with his length and his speed, being the natural 54, I think Tony can win that fight. But I don't know.
He was also coming off. Did his dad pass away right before that fight?
Yeah, right around.
He did.
Yeah. So hopefully,
a great guy too.
Yeah, and same thing. I feel like Tony got the link. I feel like he can box around him. But I just worry about Danny just catching him with a counter, man.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about Tony's chin.
Yeah, and you've seen that now with 2 Charlo fights where, the first fight he still wins, but still took some shots. But,
hey, man, and don't count on my man, Brian Castanio. He's saying
100%. Yeah.
February 22nd.
Yeah, and coming up.
Houston, Texas?
I think so. Yeah, I think I saw Toyota somewhere where the Rockets play.
It's Christmas break. I'm getting back.
Hey, listen. So some guys don't need an introduction. I gave an introduction to Frank Martin last week. I felt like it was necessary. Again, nobody talks about him, so I wanted to give the world, our viewers, something to talk about. With this one, we don't really need anything to say about one time, but he might be calling in 2 times because he said he's on now. I said 1 second, and then he said, "Can I hop on in 5?" So here, okay, I'm gonna bring him in, and if he had to get off, or if he wants to get off, then it is what it is. Let's see what he does.
Hey, this is the Porter way. This is literally.
There he is.
What up?
Yo,
time.
What's up?
What's going on? One time.
Shoot, not much. Leaving a little gym. Little recovery day, but I like to do an active recovery, and we got a little ice bath over there, so I get up in the little ice bath.
That's what's up. How you feeling? That's to me, that's the only question I got for you. How are you feeling?
Feeling good, man. Feeling great. It's just it's great to be back. Just on a regiment,
Yeah.
I know you always did a good job and stayed with it, man. But somebody like me who in my 20s was always bouncing back and forth with that yo-yo. I was like that kid with two yo-yos. I was like, woo, woo, woo. You know, I'm always going up and down, up and down. And now that I'm a little older, you know, I got a great team behind me, a lot of people that are influencing me to really work on my weight management. And I got my auntie in camp real early. We got that diet down tight in the beginning. So that my overall pool wasn't the same that it was back in 19. It wasn't that great. I lost 35 pounds when I fought Jose Zittel Lopez. I went to Tokyo, gained it all back, and I lost 35 pounds again to fight Manny Pacquiao. And that was a big takeaway from me of 2019, was that my weight management was not proper. And from here on out, that's not going to be my story. And I'm really going to be on top of that.
How old are you, Keith?
33, man. 33. It's my Masonic. It's my Masonic year. I nickname all my years. It's my
Keith,
Masonic
you in your
year,
prime,
33.
baby. We in our prime.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What the hell?
We still in the we here in the prime, man. But I gotta get this work in my prime. You know what I mean? I've been out of work. You know, I'm trying to get this work.
How have you felt any different at 33? Do you feel anything? Is there anything a little different now than it was when we were 28, 27 years old? I know when I first felt it, I actually was 33 when I first felt it. And people were saying, you know, hey, when the older you get, it's going to be hard to lose the weight. You're not going to be able to get in shape as fast and so on and so forth. And I always was like, yeah, whatever, I'll get it done. I saw something when I was 33. I was like, ooh, this way, this scale is saying the same, but I've been working for 4 weeks. This ain't right. Have you seen that?
Yeah. That did happen early on in camp. Like I went 2 weeks weighing the same.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, but I was sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I wasn't snacking or nothing. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah. But eventually it started to drop off. I noticed that a little bit in my just in 30 in general, with the Pacquiao fight and everything. I gained weight maybe easier. Like I said, I was up to I started both camps in 19 at 182, you know, which is just not good. You know, fighters losing 25 pounds in a camp, you know, you hear
that's
that
typical.
A lot, but 35, that's not, you know, and I did it twice, which, you know, numbers add up quick, which means from a certain month to a certain month, I lost 70 pounds. Sounds like a Subway commercial. You know what I mean? And I was an undefeated world champion. You know what I mean? I'm out here producing a Subway commercial when I was an undefeated world champion. So that's just a big no, man. And
let's get you with Subway before the fight.
Endorsement on the way.
Let's get you with Subway before the fight.
Do you feel like, I think maybe the 2019 you mentioned the weight loss, and maybe it was a little rusty going into the Jose Zittel fight. Do you feel maybe even more refreshed coming back off the layoff this time, going into the Barrios fight?
It's weird, man. To be honest, it's a longer layoff, but I just feel better. I feel so much better. And well, I kind of know why. So one of the reasons is my hand's not injured no more, right? My hand was injured in the Jose Zittel Lopez fight. It was the first fight of my career where this dude's swinging at me. And in the fight, my head goes, I got no intention of swinging at you the way you swinging at me, you know? And, you know, not like I'm going to tell him in the clinch or anything like that.
Oh, my God.
But for the first fight ever, he's swinging at me like they coming from Tijuana. You know, I know he's from California, but he stretched them arms back like they coming from Tijuana. You know what I'm saying? He was swinging at me, bro. And I mean, he was like, oh, if I'm going to get Thurman, it's tonight. And I was like, oh, it's not tonight, but I see you trying, boy. You know? But I just didn't have it in me. I didn't have it in me to hit him like that. And I don't know if it was just because of my hand injury. I got another good hand, but I wasn't ready to take it to that level. So I think I feel better because I know that I can implement my power, and I want to showcase my power in this fight once again.
We all want to see that, buddy.
Shawn didn't want to see it back in the fight, but now he's down for it.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith, so you feel like because of that, the health and the things you're talking about, that this fight will be more decisive than the Josecito Lopez fight was last time you were coming off a layoff?
Yeah, I mean, I remember having an opening statement where I told everybody, because I didn't tell everybody Keith Thurman's fighting injured. I didn't tell everybody that, at the beginning of 2019. But this is my words. And see, this is when I explain this to you, you're going to understand that everything Keith Thurman says has meaning. Okay. So let's go back in time. And the thing I told all the reporters is, one, you will not see the best Keith Thurman this year. I made that statement at the start of the year.
You did.
Okay?
You did.
You will not see the best Keith Thurman this year, but you will see a world champion performance. And I said, and I am not fighting any of the top welterweights. I wasn't even going to fight Shawn. I wasn't going to fight Shawn one-handed. Yeah. It was a dog fight. Yeah. I wasn't going to fight him. I wasn't going to fight nobody that I knew was close to my age and different things. I took Josecito Lopez because he was flat-footed. I knew I can box him with my amateur IQ and my Floyd Mayweather simple boxing. Hit, don't get hit, raise my hand, and still champion. That's all I cared about. That's what I did. And I was able to drop him. He walked into that. I wasn't even trying. He walked into that.
Give yourself some credit, Keith.
You know what I'm saying?
Some credit.
Hey, it's one time for a reason. It's one time for a reason, not a short season. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a quick, rapid check hook. I was on my back foot after a combination. I stepped back. I saw him coming in, and I gave him that quick check hook on the chinny chin, and down he went. But then he made his adjustment. He was aware. Okay, Thurman's check hook. I got to watch out for that. He stayed long with them long Josecito Lopez arms of his, and then he got me in the 7th round, and I had to show my chin to the fans. Barclays was all riled up. Everybody was riled up. People were making side bets. Oh, he going down. Oh, he going down. He going down. He's going down. Oh, yeah. How much you want to bet? Yeah. Yeah. People were making side bets in the 7th round. It don't matter, man. I do what I do, man. I love the sport of boxing. I love showing my grit. If I have to, I'll bring it out. It just is what it is. But yeah, man. So
was going to fight elite welterweights 2019, but then that Pacquiao pay-per-view money came, and it's like, I gotta do that, right?
Yeah, and my doctor was at the Josecito Lopez fight. Like, Keith, you ready for that surgery? And I was like, yo, doc, I'm trying to get Pacquiao, man. I couldn't have faith. This, this happens to us. There's moments in our life where we can step into something with tremendous amounts of faith. And there's moments in our life where our faith is tested. And I have tons of faith in that God's got my back, right? But God wasn't doing my hand surgery. There was a man who don't know nothing about boxing telling me he's going to cut my hand open, put it together, and everything's going to be okay. And I did not have faith in that. I wish I did. In retrospect, I wish I did. And I'm happy now that I'm healed. But and I'm very grateful to the doctors. Salute to you, Doc. You know who you are. You're amazing. But at that time, I did not have that faith, and I didn't like my inactivity. And I wanted to fight Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather back when I was 24, 25, 26 years old. So once when I got the phone call, I couldn't turn it down. And I just had to try to make the best out of it.
Hey, Keith, June 25th, 2016, top 10 greatest fights I've ever seen in the sport of boxing. Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman. Shawn, I'm asking you this too. Oh, did y'all realize how great that fight was when you guys was like when the fight was over? Because I'm gonna be real, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, even the great Floyd Mayweather. I don't think nobody besides you two at that night could withstand what you guys was doing to each other.
That's why Shawn hugged him that one round.
He was
so excited.
That was nothing but greatness on greatness on greatness.
Keith, go ahead. You answer first.
How great that fight was.
Like in the moment, did you know in the moment?
Shoot, in the moment, I was just trying to win, in the moment.
He was trying to survive.
In the moment,
I was just trying to survive.
Everything Okay, so let me talk about that fight. So I had a great game plan for Shawn Porter because me and Shawn Porter, he's one of the few fighters that I really sparred in the amateurs. And then we got to be a part of a training camp. And the day he was in my training camp, I already knew we were going to fight each other, but we weren't. He was on.
I was just coming back. Yeah, I was just coming back.
Showtime, and I was on HBO.
Yeah,
but I knew that eventually there's going to be a day where Keith Thurman and Shawn Porter meet. But we were those kind of dudes that our coaches made us work together when we were amateurs, and we both wanted good work. I was scheduled to fight Marcos Maidana, and I just thought Porter was the best kind of sparring I could get. So after doing that camp with him, it was already on my radar, completed. You and Shawn Porter, we're gonna clash, and when we clash, it's gonna be great because he knows you, you know him, and because he knows you, he's gonna work so damn hard. And because you know him, you know I'm a little bit more of a finesser. I knew I was gonna put the pieces, and I was gonna play chess. You know, so I had a fight strategy. Win round one. You can always go back and watch this. Round two was my favorite round. Shawn Porter's the only fighter I ever rope-a-doped. I never rope-a-doped anybody. You know what I mean? Shawn's
I'm forced to rope-a-dope.
I rope-a-doped him, you know? And we're on the ropes. I'm taking the punches. And I said, he gets off me. I say, come on, Shawn, come on. And he goes, blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna get tired though. And I go, come on, Shawn.
Oh, Shawn was talking?
No, I remember now. He said, go ahead, wear yourself out. I was like, I ain't gonna get tired.
I forget all about it. I'm not gonna get tired. He goes, Baba, I'm not gonna get tired. Yeah. And then in my head, I didn't say this one to you. In my head, I go, prove it. Prove it. Because it wasn't round two. It was so that you didn't have those combinations in the championship round. You know what I mean? And I knew you had that dog, but I wanted to take as much of the dog that you were going to give me in round two. You could have stopped throwing punches after that first flurry. That round was yours, Shawn. I didn't want round two. Round two, I was giving that away. I was giving it away. You could have thrown less punches. It still would have been your round. So knowing that I'm going to give him the round.
And that there is
come on, Shawn. I'm like, come on. Take
he played you like a game boy.
You know? So, but I'm gonna tell you, this is why I got to tell you the story. So round one, I box him, I win. Round two, I give it up to him. Boom, we're even again. Now the whole goal was to win round three and round four, which on one judge's scorecard I did, and that's exactly how I wanted the fight to go. Boom. So after round four, I have a 2-point victory lead. So right now we can do tug and war. I can go 1 round Porter, 1 round Thurman, 1 round Porter, 1 round Thurman, and I'm winning the fight. Well, the problem is that's not how the fight went. Okay.
Yeah.
Shawn did things in like the 5th and the 6th round and the 7th round. He was dogging it out in that mid-tier better than I anticipated. And I think I might have, I caught him at the end of the 4th, or I landed some nice punches, whatever. You know, I got the highlights in the fight. We know that I got the highlights. But, you know, that was another finesse move I put on him in that showdown. But I knew once when we hit round 8, I knew the fight was not really going the way I wanted it to go.
Yeah, turn it back
and
on.
When
you were
I
losing?
Down,
is that what you're saying? You were losing?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. So I sat down and coach gave me some water, right? And in my head, I said, I don't care who you are watching this fight. It's a draw, 4-4. I said, I don't care who you are. And my fighter intuition was correct. You look back at the scorecards at the end of round 8, it was a unanimous draw. Unanimous draw. And all 3 judges got there on their own accord. Only one judge saw the fight the way I saw the fight. So I was grateful that somebody saw it the way I saw it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But no matter how they saw it, at the end of round 8, it was a draw.
Yeah.
So for me, I said, yo, I already told myself this while I'm sitting down. My coach is telling me throw more right hands and yada, yada. I wasn't even listening to it, to be honest. I wasn't, the fight. I'm in my own head. And I told myself, I said, look, man, this is no longer a 12-round fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 4-round fight.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Porter cannot beat you. But worst case scenario, we're going to have a draw tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man,
he said, I ain't accepting that.
I knew I had the whiplash. I knew we postponed the fight. I knew there was so much drama and anticipation and the energy in New York that night. I said, yo, ain't nobody here came to see a draw.
Yeah.
I said, it's a 4-round fight. You need to do what you need to do to just get this done. Mm-hmm. And I just buckled down, and Shawn did his thing, but how it is, I had people telling me that, hey man, champ, Shawn got you, yada yada yada. It's perception.
Mm-hmm.
Once you leave it up to the judges, you're leaving it up to perception.
Mm-hmm.
How many people told me I won the Pacquiao fight? I'm like, that's cool if you was a judge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, we have to get these judges to approve. And Shawn, and the way he smothered and different things, and the way I threw certain punches, and the way you slowly, it's I don't like to say that you fade, but everybody fades. So there's a different way that Shawn Porter fades out in those later rounds.
Mm-hmm.
There's a different way that it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But when I landed a few punches, it looked good because I land my punches on the outside where you land your punches on the inside,
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at the fight sometimes and I'm like, ooh, damn, he really hit you on the ropes over there. Oh, he actually did hit you there too. But did the judges really get to see all that?
Mm-hmm.
But I know they saw the punches that I was landing because I was on the outside. So it was a tremendous fight. And a lot of people who reflect on my career definitely think it was one of the best fights of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people love that fight. And I'm grateful that we were able to give the fans that level of entertainment. And I'm definitely, sorry to do it to you, but we have to, we had to get that W, man. And I was champion. So, you had to take it, and I made it hard right at the end.
I ain't mad at you at all. Did anybody teach you to think like that and count rounds and like that in the ring, or is that just something that you developed, like, as as a pro?
I mean, it's, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know. So
yeah.
I do it. I'm a judge. I judge myself.
There was
myself.
But because I do the same thing, but the way you strategically say, you know what, I'm gonna win this round. I'm not gonna lose this round on purpose, but I'm gonna make sure I win this round, and then next round I'm gonna see the way it goes. I'm gonna win this round, and then I'm gonna see the way it goes the next round. Like I've never had that type of strategy in my mind. In retrospect, it sounds borderline amazing that for you to think like that, and to be able to say, hey, as long as I win round 1 and then I win round 3 and 4, and then from that point on, I'm just gonna, take this fight as it goes, opposed to forcing anything or, feeling like I'm losing and I got to do more. It's like you kept yourself right in the pocket where you needed to be. And I just think that that's really strategical. And that's a part of the game. We talk about the game is chess, not checkers. That's a part of the game that a lot of people don't know. So like, I'm trying to figure out from you, like, did somebody teach you to fight like that and to have that type of mindset through fights? Or is that something that you developed? And was it something you developed specifically for the fight against me?
That fight strategy was just for you. I did a different one against Diego Chavez. Like I wanted to knock out Diego Chavez in 4 rounds, right? Mm-hmm. So I knew, like, Diego Chavez was the first fight that if you watch Keith Thurman, you're gonna see a certain type of fight.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see a shift, right? You're going to see a shift.
Yeah.
Well, that shift was already calculated in my game plan, right? Because if I don't have him out in 4 rounds, I got to make a shift, right? And I was like, yo, he was 22-0 with 18 knockouts. I was 20-0 with 18 knockouts. I told everybody, if I don't knock him out in 4 rounds, come see me after the fight. I'll give you your money back. I was talking all that one-time Thurman talk, right? So after I won that fight with a very interesting, methodical approach to that fight, that's what made me realize
that was a shift for you.
That it's great to have some kind of insight to your overall approach to the fight. Of course, anything can happen, but it's great to have that insight to my overall approach. So I gave him 4 hard rounds, and he showed me that they breed them tough in Argentina. He showed me that, you know? And I said, okay, cool. I'm going to take a step back. And I'm going to say, welcome to America. I'm about to box your ass out. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do something different to you.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Once when I changed the tempo on him, he didn't know what was happening. He thought like I slowed down, he slowed down. Now, see, if I slow down, you don't slow down, right? Because you different. But with him, when I slowed down and he slowed down, he made me realize I'm the conductor.
Right. That's all you want to do. We lose you.
Yep.
Somebody
got the knockout in that fight too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody trying to, and the knockout was always on my
mind. Go ahead.
Hold up.
There he is.
Boom, I'm back. So the knockout was always on my mind, right? And I was thinking, once when I was able to box him, I was like, okay, this is better. And I felt like I was winning some rounds. And I was like, okay, this is a lot better. I like what I'm doing. Then I saw his gas tank was having a problem. And I was like, yo, we need to hit this dude with a body shot. And it didn't happen when I saw it. It happened like the round after that, which ended up being the 9th round. Got him with the body shot, boom, right into the solar plex. And then he survived that round. And then I took him out early in the 10th. You know, and it was a great fight, but it was a great strategy I had going into the fight with the proper training leading up to the fight. So that was my real first fundamental understanding that I can approach these big fights like this. And so I had my own approach to you, but then you messed up my game plan. Then I just had to buckle down and do the thing. You know, do the thing. You know, and that's what you do. You bring that out of fighters. You do that because either they do the thing or they don't do the thing, and then you get to do this again and be like, thank you. You know,
thank you.
Where are you at right now? Where is Keith Thurman in the top welterweight, discussion? How do you get to, obviously you had your belt. Where you at? Talk to me.
Oh, I don't give a flying F. I don't give a nut. I don't know. Where am I at? I'm right here. I'm in St. Pete. I just came out of the gym.
Let's go.
I'm right here.
Let's go. Talk to you after the fight. Talk to me after the fight.
Let's go.
No, that question, I'm going to tell you, I'm tired of all this opinionated BS, right? Yeah. I don't care. I don't care about your opinion. I'm a 2-time world champion, right? I'm one of, if not the most exciting welterweight in the welterweight division today. Okay. I'm one of, if not the most exciting welterweight in the welterweight division today. So rank me how you please. I don't care. I'm not here for the rankings. I'm here for the sport. Okay. I'm here for the sport. I was born and raised in the sport of boxing. Okay. We used to do it for a medal. I used to do it for a trophy. I used to do it just to make my mama and my daddy proud.
Talk that talk.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk that talk.
So, I'm here for the sport. I'm here to the day I retire. Okay. I'm here. I don't care about nothing else, man. I mean, I love boxing. I love what I love what boxing brought into my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I love what I'm able to bring into the sport of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why,
Mm-hmm.
and that's all Keith Thurman's about. From this point on, that's all Keith Thurman's about. I always said, I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me.
Yeah.
I've been beaten one time. Is one time going to get beaten 2 times? Will he ever be beaten 3 times? I don't know. I'm here. I'm willing to find out. I'm willing to find out. That's all that matters to me.
Hey, Keith, I got to ask you, man. You know, after you handle business with Mario's, we want to see you in the ring with 2 guys. That's it. 2 motherfuckers. Terrence Crawford, Earl Smith Jr.
Hold on. I'm the only fighter that got to be in the ring with 2 guys. So
you know what the hell I'm talking about. You know,
and Shawn will be your tag team partner.
What are we doing? All right, Shawn, let's tag up, dog. Let's tag up and let's handle this business.
I will come back for that. It ain't much I come back for. I'll come back for that. Hey, listen.
No, we gotta ask it. Hey, that's 2 great fights, man. 2 great fights. Terrence Crawford and Earl Smith Jr.
Yeah.
You clip them both?
Look, man, that's what I'm here for, man. Look,
hey, because your power is different.
When you guys ask, where's Keith Thurman? I'll tell you where I'm at in my head. You can put as many people you want in front of me, but you best believe I'm the dark horse in the back that got all it takes to work his way back to the front. Okay? I got the gusto to make it back to the front of the line. Okay? So put me wherever you want in the line, but I'm the black horse. You know, I'm the dark horse. And we galloping because we working.
You're a little too light to be you're a little too light skinned to be a dark horse. But with that being,
look at light skin staring out the window.
Yeah.
It's like a music video.
Listen.
John, it's a metaphor. Don't act like you ain't never heard one.
Hey, listen. But with that being said, man, we gonna let you go. We appreciate you coming on the Porterway podcast today. I'm always in your corner. You know that. God bless you, big dog. We will see you out here in a couple of weeks. And I personally, man, I love you. I appreciate I appreciate the energy. Bring it back down because you got some time to go before the fight. So bring that energy back down. Hold on to it.
You boys bring me up there. Don't worry. I'm gonna go get my protein check. I'm gonna calm down. Don't worry.
There you go. Hey, salute to you, big dog.
One time.
Thank you, man.
Take care, fellas. Take care.
Easy.
Thank you.
See you, champ.
Yeah. That was a good interview right there. That different energy, man. Hey, Shawn, so how did you feel in that Keith Thurman Shawn Porter fight?
Yeah, I was like, I can't say too much more because he ain't gonna never get off, man. No. I appreciate him to the fullest. As it was going on, like my thing is, y'all know my thing is the crowd. So we start the fight and all that, and I'm hearing oohs and ahs for me. I'm hearing ooh and ah for him, and it's just hot. It's hard. That was a hard night of fighting, but. And I'll fast forward all the way to the end because for me it was like it was hard round after hard round. Do what you got to do. I was hardly thinking about like tomorrow, like you know how they always say tomorrow doesn't exist. Like this was the first fight for me that tomorrow did not exist, and I'll never forget when the fight ended. My first thought was when the bell rang, I was like, oh, I'm glad that's over, right? And as I was like letting that out, I look over and see him throw his hands in the air. I said, hold on, you didn't win. I did not want to put my hands in the air, man, but he did that. And I was like, man, hold on, man, you didn't win, you know? And I remember just going back to my corner, being grateful that the fight was over, and then could hear and see that like everybody was so like amped up about the moment. I didn't realize how special it was and how amazing the night was until you fast forward X amount of months and even years later, and people still talk about the fight. Now, to me, it definitely is a classic, and I'm glad I was who I was in the moment to do what I did against Keith Thurman. Not like he said, not too many people can handle what he can bring. Not too many people can handle what I can bring. I think, although that fight was a little premature in terms of our relevancy to the sport, it was. I think it was right on time for both of us. We were right there at a point where we could both handle it. And on that night, not too many people could handle me, and not too many people could handle him on that night.
Yep. Hey, Shawn, you've talked in the past about who the best guy you ever fought was, but in terms of like talent and just God-given gifts, was that guy Keith out of everyone you fought in terms of just athleticism and hand speed and just the stuff you got gifts? Yeah, power.
Definitely power. I would still hold on that I think that Terrence Crawford is the most talented fighter that I've been in the ring with. That Keith Thurman is, literally not even a step behind him.
And on that night, that was greatness.
I would love to see that Keith Thurman or a version of that Keith Thurman fight them all. I think that Keith and I both, like at that point in time, we were so hungry that we were almost willing to do whatever it took. You know what I mean? And I think that what happens is as you mature in the sport, that it doesn't disappear, but you just learn more. You figure out other ways to make it happen. And I think that, that's what we would benefit from seeing young fighters fight other young fighters. And sometimes it's premature, but you get a chance to see those guys really at their peaks, so.
And somehow Keith is as talented as a boxer he is. And you know how I feel about one time. He is as good talking. I'll never forget after your weigh-in against Kel, Keith was up there hanging out. And he is one of the only guys I've seen that, and this wasn't like a media thing. He started to talk, and people literally like circled around him just to like hear him. He was talking about, why am I one time? And it's like women, children, grown men, everyone like just circled around him. And
that's what you saw in your head.
Because it wasn't like everyone's holding like a mic out, like media scrums. It was just people just wanted to hear him talk because he's just kind of that guy. But
I think he and I of our quad, we're the two guys that just really figured it out, like how to make it all work as one. And a lot of guys, they talk too much. Other guys talk too little. Other guys got some talent, but they're missing some key components and all that. Like he and I were growing in the sport at the same time, and we were really just figuring it all out. And as you can see that he's got it all figured out. I do believe that there's going to be a second win for him.
I think so too.
I think, I think even taking my bias aside, my bias 100% wants to see that second wave for him. But I do believe that there's a second wave for him. I could just see it in his energy. His energy's always there. He's always, but you kind of, when so I feel like I know. I hope I'm not wrong.
I just wonder if it's going to be that second wave, if it's going to look different than the first. Because, he's at the age.
It's going to look different. It's going to look different. It's kind of like I just said, we as we get older, we figure out other ways to make it work and manage it in a way that it just won't look the same. I think Floyd mastered that, and a lot of people didn't appreciate that. He figured out a way to win every single fight, and he figured out a way to win it opposite from the way he always won. So I'm hoping that the power is still there. I think that he's the kind of guy that when he sees that moment, he'll take it. But I also believe that he's mature now to know that I can keep my foot on this gas pedal or I can take it off. A young Shawn Porter, one time keeps that foot on the gas pedal, So I think we will see that too. We'll see moments where he's playing with the pedals, and, the best drivers, they know how to play with those pedals. You know what I mean?
Because I think he can do, obviously, of course, he's not Floyd, but I think he can take the aggression offensively down a little bit and still have the power just to put you out.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes it interesting. If he's able to become maybe more of a boxer than he
still got that equalizer,
and he can still and wipe you out. I think one decent question to end it on, our guy Elway 22. Shout out to Larry Drummond.
Oh yeah, we gotta do that.
86
clothing line.
86 clothing.
Yeah, that's our guy, Larry.
He wanted us to talk about the and I think Zittel might even be our ace here, the 2022 Hall of Fame induction class. He said it's a great class, and he thought maybe some of our thoughts.
I wish I had saw it.
I got it. I was gonna say I assumed you had it.
I figured. I figured.
Yeah. We got Roy Jones Jr.
Nice.
Miguel Cotto.
Roy Jones, I'm sure, and Miguel's not a first ballot.
I don't think
Miguel's second ballot.
Well, Roy is a first ballot. Oh, they both are first. Yeah, Miguel's not the first ballot.
Miguel's not.
Which I think was wrong. I don't
crazy.
that at all.
Yeah, I remember
crazy.
James Toney, Holly Holm, and Regina Halmich. are the honorees. Any overall thoughts from anyone on them?
Well, I
Roy
think
is the best.
I think we're getting 2 classes in one because of the pandemic last year. So I think we're getting the 2021 class and the 2022 inducted at once, I believe. So I think we're also going to see Floyd, Vladimir Klitschko, and Juan Manuel Marquez and Andre Ward get in with that class. I did hear that. So, yeah.
They hear that. Yeah. That's the 2020 class, right?
That'll be 2021.
Yeah.
And this will be 2022.
Okay.
I think if Roy had retired after if I've heard people say that really knew their boxing and were watching it at that time, I think if Roy would have retired right after the John Ruiz fight or the first Tarver fight, he'd have a claim to being the greatest fighter of all time. And, he would. And in terms of talent, right now, Boots Ennis is probably the best supernatural, freakish talent in boxing right now. And even he isn't quite a Roy Jones. Roy Jones might have been the greatest God-given talent in boxing history.
I just got a good idea. Let's have Iceman come on and talk about the 2 classes.
There you go.
Let's have John Scully come on.
Have John come. Oh my God, that'd be great.
Yeah, and we'll have him talk about the 2 classes.
We can. So we don't want to talk about it now.
No, let's preview this for next week.
We'll hold on to it.
And he would love that.
Yeah.
And then Cotto should have got it in first ballot, guys.
Man, that's crazy. Cotto fought everybody on the backside of his career, man.
Well, don't forget that, that no excuses. I agree as well, but there's always, who else is going in. And, sometimes it's like, well, we got to put those guys in. So, we can't do him this year. We'll make sure he gets in next year.
Yeah.
Well, I made a joke. There was a few votes for Ivan Calderon, who was I know Sean remembers him, was a great 105 pounder, great fighter. But I think if you took a microphone to Puerto Rico and asked Ivan Calderon who gets in first, you or Miguel Cotto, he would say Miguel Cotto.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
But,
all those guys are really close. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that all those guys are like it's tight knit down there too. You know what I mean? So
right.
They root for one another and all that kind of stuff. I cannot deny that he would more than likely have said that. Yeah.
And Puerto Rico's only 4 division champion ever. Felix Trinidad did it in 3 divisions, but Cotto went from 140 to 160. But he gets in, so it's all good. And I think he may have part of why he didn't get in. I got to look back at it again, but it may have been a year where they either cut the limit from 5 to 3 fighters get in, and it may have been either that or they were splitting up the number of people that get in now between women fighters and men fighters. So I think in other years past, he would have got in first ballot, but with the way it's working the last 2 years or so,
set up. Yeah, we don't have, and we can't class. We don't have a ton of fights coming up. Joe Smith fights a replacement fighter, so he'll probably do work there. Abraham Nova fights. I think Troy Isley is on that card as well, which is nice. And then I'm excited. The fight I'm most excited for coming up is that following week. Gary Russell Jr. Mark my side. I'm ready.
That's gonna be a good fight, though.
Carson, is this you on Instagram, on YouTube? Shout out to Baltimore James. My man said, we do a bold prediction and everything. His bold prediction was Gary Russell versus Activity. I was like,
oh, damn. that you, Carson?
No, I love Gary.
Oh, man.
I saw a bold prediction and we had him on that Corey Kush says that Keith Thurman becomes world champion again, 2022.
Which one he clips?
I'd love to see it. I don't know.
Which one?
It depends on how these fights.
Maybe Earl.
Maybe. It depends on
it
depends on. I would still like to see him fight any of those guys, Ugas, Terrence, EJ, and really any of them. But
and then Tony had to wait a year because of his issue with the John Ruiz fight when he tested positive for a banned substance when he almost became like Roy, the only guy from middleweight to heavyweight to do it. If I had to vote, me personally, I would have put James in first ballot anyways, but
for playing Smoking Joe Frazier and Ali. I smoke on the mic like Smoking Joe Frazier.
The Hellraiser. Raising hell with the flavor. Yeah.
Listen, that's it. I think we preview next week. We're gonna have John Iceman Scully on here. And of course, I need to reach out to him, but I have no doubt. We actually been talking, texting a lot in the last couple of days. So I have no doubt he'll come back on. There's a preview of what's coming next week for the first time. I talked to Ant about this just before we got on the line. We want to take this podcast to the next level. A part of that is getting someone to do the posting, the Instagramming, the tweeting, take over our social media. That way we're getting everything posted on, not just on time, but the over and above, you know what I mean? Carson's handled it to this point, and we appreciate it.
But Carson's 30
for that, Carson.
30, you don't got that in him no more.
We're looking for somebody. The Porterweight Podcast, listen up. We're looking for somebody that does that for a living or knows someone that does that for a living. We, of course, are willing to pay someone, but we're willing to extend the Porterweight Podcast team to someone out there. So if you can refer us, if you are someone yourself, let us know in the comments, and we will do what we can about doing.
Or reach out to me on Instagram.
There you go.
Is it 702? I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
reach out to me on Instagram. Let me find my Instagram. Ant with 2 T's 702. Reach out to me in the DMs.
It's on the shirt.
Or the Porterweight Podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah,
I just gotta make sure they get straight to me, Carson.
We'll see what we can do about doing. We'll see what we can do about doing an audition and all that kind of stuff.
Dang, an audition.
What? Hey, y'all know I ain't never had a job.
Mode.
I ain't never had a job. Everything I do is an audition. What is it?
Imagine somebody walking on stage and having a post on Instagram.
Listen,
Carson, to go over your resume.
Right. We'll see what we can do about getting that interview set up and all that kind of stuff on a serious note, so that we can get somebody hired in. We want to take this bad boy to the next level, and we want y'all to be a part of it. And we're gonna come back next week with some more fanfare for y'all as well. We didn't get a chance to really dedicate this episode to y'all the way we wanted to. One Time talks a lot, but that's our guy.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to all of y'all. We appreciate you guys for watching. Stay blessed, and we'll see you next week. What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ant. Follow me on IG, Ant with 2 T's.
This is the Porterweight Podcast. This is Anthony Brunel, and this is Carson A. Merck. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again.
Just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Porterweight Podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're going to do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brendel.
Carson A. Merck. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porterweight.